Morning, everyone. Start meeting February 17th, 2015. Stand for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, start off with public comment, not in a minute, commissioner's update. Is there any public comment?
Roger Halpern, can I ask that from here on out that there be 2 or 3 copies of the agenda made before the meeting for the public?
Before the meeting? Oh, you mean out to have here?
Yeah,
I guess so.
We can do
They're
that,
posted.
isn't it?
thank you.
Any other public comments? Updates, anything else?
From the Commissioner's Community Update, I assume that's what you're on.
Any of it?
I have a couple of things. First of all, with the Montana Minute, I just want to give kudos to some of our groups that are worked on the weekend. The Radersburg Historical Preservation Society had a Valentine's Day lunch and a working meeting on a Saturday. We're working on hopefully getting some high-speed internet there, so I'll be bringing a letter of support to the commission hopefully for signature. And I also want to give kudos to Eli Holm for a state championship. Yesterday there was a senior center lunch, and that was the topic of discussion. So,
The senior in high school, they have 2 firsts this year.
oh man,
Says a lot.
yeah, he's doing great.
A picture of his whole family was on the front of the Billings Gazette. And you can see him just encouraging him on, I guess, and
Yeah.
screaming and hollering.
Yeah.
Okay, Montana Minute, Laura stole mine.
Oh,
Sorry, I should have known better. I didn't know if we were on
No.
that or past it or what.
I think it's wonderful that the kids in this community are doing so great. You just can't help but say enough about them. You read places and it's not that way, but our kids are doing great. Which goes to show good parents, good community. And on community update for myself, as you all know, I've been doctoring daily lately, but I did attend the Lincoln Bay dinner out at Watson's, and it was very nice. And Representative Zinke couldn't be there, so they got him on Skype. I guess that's today's modern world.
Mhm.
I also attended the same meeting. Elaine was at, and also 4 days, or 3 days, I guess it was, last week in Helm, Maple Conference.
On an interesting side note, Dave Schultz was in Washington DC. He's the president of MACO and commissioner from Madison County. And there was a delegation there, and they met with Representative Zinke's chief of staff. And he said that the representative has been working consistently with the president on helping with some kind of a applicable response to so much of the unrest in the world. So, but that, yeah, that was neat. His leadership for representative being brand new, that's tremendous.
Well,
So-
what's going on in the world, is my understanding, they have moved him up several steps, so to speak, back there in Congress,
Yeah,
so.
and that was recognized by the president. I also thought was a good show of leadership.
Can I ask one of you two to tell more about Michael being his, I was at the doctor's?
Yeah, it was a good conference.
Was it?
It was good, yeah, it was Monday afternoon, it started at 1, and it ended Thursday afternoon, so, good, strong 4 days. We had personnel, as always, and met Mike Zaystad's replacement, Brian from Cascade County. I forget his last name. I can get it if you want it, but I think he's gonna do great. Michelle was there, which was nice. Yeah. The bad thing about that is she calls you out in the meeting, so,
Oh.
yeah. The commissioners she knows and works with, she calls them out, so you can't just sit there quietly.
So much for hiding.
Exactly, that just doesn't happen with Michelle. But I don't know about Franklin, but I will tell you what my takeaway was. And I think this is a big deal, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Doug, when he was doing the taxes, there was an increase in the taxes. This year, he asked Department of Revenue, had a hard time getting an answer, was delayed, but because he was trying to find an answer. And what happened was, in this year's taxes, use this pen to start. Over a 6-year period, taxes go up a certain percentage amount each of those 6 years. So you kind of have a graph like this. So what happened in Broadwater County is we had a graph that looked like this for 2013 when taxes went down. Well, one would think that if you had the same percentage added on, that your graph then would look something like this. But ours actually went up to maintain that same straight line, which didn't make sense to anybody. We finally figured it out in conference this year. Secure Rural Schools is kind of a sister to PILT. It stems back to 1908, and it's derived from how much public land you have in your county. So with with SRS not being allocated this year, there's been an awful lot of emails from county commissioners to the road departments in the schools, because it's a 2/3, 1/3 split between the two. And road departments have been very quick to share, you know, this is what the loss of this funding is doing to my budget. These are the problems it's bringing up, but the schools have been quiet. And so the question was, why aren't we getting more from the schools? Why aren't they partnering more with us to fight for this SRS funding? Well, there's a Montana state law that says the schools will not suffer for lack of this funding. Obviously, you can see what it would do to Townsend School. Would be losing a handful of teachers or more. What happens is the property taxes for Montana citizens is increased per the state formula to offset the loss of PILT. Or, excuse me, of SRS. The two are totally separate. But to offset the loss of SRS, property taxes are increased. That's why property taxes went up this year to the extent that they did.
Department of Revenue should put something in the newspaper so people understand that.
Obviously, with Doug asking the question, they didn't want to share that. I don't know why not. I don't know why they couldn't have been as forthcoming as Harold was in the Forested Counties meeting and lay it all out for us to understand, especially when Doug was asking the right questions. So I just wanted to bring that up. It does look like Senator Weidman in Oregon, who's really been heading this fight, has a bill, a 10-year bill to fund PILT at 110%. And also another bill has been introduced by, I think, the senator from Oklahoma, and that is to not only pay SRS to the counties, but to retro for this year. So that's the update I know, and that was really the biggest takeaway for me, because I didn't get it either, and it was really bothering me to have that huge question mark. So it was kind of an aha moment.
When we had thought, in fact, our taxes went down, now they're really going up.
Exactly,
where they should be.
Right, however, should we property taxpayers be paying because the federal government can't get their act together?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think, you know, SRS has been a staple for counties since 1908, and this year they decided not to fund it. That's fine, but they should put in something other than property tax burden on Montanans to offset that, in my opinion. So, that was the biggest thing from conference, but there was a lot of really good information.
Good.
We'll go with these minutes that were nailed for the February 2nd meeting. Are there any additions or corrections or anything
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Move to second to approve the minutes. February 2nd, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I see we have Eli's dad here.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's what
Good job.
next to
Laura and I both jumped on that for
Good.
Montana Minute.
Good.
And that you read the newspaper.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, my
cool.
Lord. I guess I'm that parent. But
There's
you know,
nothing wrong with that.
watching him win a state title's worth it.
You bet.
I'm here in front of you today to just kind of inform you, I think. About a week and a half ago, I was approached by the Department of Environmental Quality about a job offer. And it was a pretty good job offer. It would have been about a $5,500 a year raise. It wasn't an easy decision I had to make. I talked with Laura on one occasion about, you know, hypothetically, if that happened, would the county be able to come back with a counteroffer? And that's kind of what precipitated this meeting today. I will tell you that I chose to stay with Broadwater County. There's a lot of factors that came into play. It was not an easy decision to make. Walking away from $5,500 is an easy thing to do at any time. But I do like what I do here. I do like the job I have. I had initially talked with some of my solid waste board members, and they wanted to come in for another bite at the apple to see if they could get me more money. I'm not opposed to that, but I don't think right now is the right time for that. I don't know where we're at completely with our budget this year, because we haven't been getting regular budget reports and that kind of thing, but I guess I'll put you on notice that that's probably gonna come in the next budget cycle. My solid waste board is probably gonna push for that.
And they should.
And I'm not opposed to you guys making a decision today, I'd give you more money, either I'm not return my money. But I just don't think right now is the right time. And I do that out of several respects. Department morale is one of them. Again, not knowing exactly where I'm at with the budget is another. And I think it's okay right now. But I did want to let you guys know that was on the table. It was not an easy decision to make. And I'll let you know too, they approached me. I wasn't out actively looking for a job. They called me up and said, we have an opening, we think you'd be good at it. They really surprised me with their offer that they came back with. It was very competitive. And that's just why I'm here. So, ball's in your court, I guess.
We're glad you're staying.
Broadwater
You did a good
County's
job.
back on a good road and a part of that leadership team. I appreciate it as well. And I think we speak for a good number of the citizens when we say they appreciate it as well.
Yes, definitely.
I did send an email to Debbie and Tammy requesting that you get the update of your budget, so you
Okay.
should be able to get that here this
Yeah.
afternoon, or if not this morning.
Everything else in the solid waste department is okay at the moment. Everything that needs to be going on is going on, so.
Equipment's all rented fine?
It was this morning.
We don't know
It's-
about tomorrow, do we?
We don't know about tomorrow. It's a day-by-day operation, so. But, I think we've got a loader that will get us through for a while. I do have my feelers out there looking for something else to replace it.
How old is it?
It's 40 years old.
What
So
served its life?
it's done a good job for us.
We just put a pile of money in it, though, didn't we?
We did, we rebuilt the undercarriage of it. So it should get us through for a few more years. But with the downturn in the Bakken right now, I'm thinking there might be some pretty good deals on some new stuff coming around. So I've got my eyes open, and we'll see if something shakes out of that. But, it's just a game. I know metal prices right now are in the toilet. Had a guy come in and look at our metal pile that bailed it up last year, and he could only guarantee me a price of $60 a ton this year. Last year was 160. And he says, I don't even wanna come over here if I can give you 100. So that's kind of where we're sitting. We're just collecting more metal and building a bigger pile. Cardboard prices are down. All that stems from the Longshoremen's Union on the west coast is on strike. In fact, they've been locked out. They rejected the final offer from the ports last week, and it's crazy that affects recycle markets as much as it does. But a lot of that stuff goes overseas, and I saw an article the other day that the average longshoreman, their wage is $147,000 a year. The average longshoreman.
Wow.
The average retirement for a longshoreman is $88,000 a year. Their pension is $88,000 a year. So,
Wow.
there's a lot of money flowing through that port. And, the last offer they made them wasn't good enough, so I don't know what that means.
Well, then oil prices must be headed up because at the gas pump it's going up.
Who knows?
Yeah.
No kidding.
But it's yes.
If I could predict the price of gas, I sure wouldn't be a solid waste manager in Bellwether County.
None of us would be doing the job we are.
So, any questions for me?
Just a thanks. Thanks for
Appreciate
coming to
it.
NACO, to the safety conference. I
That was good.
appreciated that.
Had a good talk with the folks from Park County that got the award. They invited us over for a safety meeting to see how they do things. They got a pretty active group. It's neat to see.
It's not a bad idea to take a field trip.
I have a question. Is Eli gonna play football or wrestling in college?
That's another one of those that if I knew the answer to, I wouldn't be doing what I do. That answer is buried deep within that boy, and it'll come out when it comes out. We are gonna take a trip here at the end of the month to go look at his school. We're gonna go down and talk to him in Dillon. They've expressed interest in wanting to play football there, so. And they have a wrestling club. They don't have a wrestling team anymore, but they have a wrestling club. I think he's just enjoying the moment for now. I don't blame him.
No,
He deserves
yes,
it.
he should.
So I told his coach the other day, I said, you know that, he only won 2 tournaments in his high school career. One was divisionals last weekend, and one was this past weekend, so.
Wow.
I said, if you're gonna win 2, those are the 2 win.
Mhm.
Doesn't get any better than that, Dad.
But it was a lot of fun.
You know, like I told these guys early in the meeting, there's a lot of good kids in this county doing a lot of good things.
And it,
We're so blessed.
I said, it all falls back to the coaching. We are blessed with some phenomenal coaches that, they don't just coach athletes, they coach character. And they make those kids be gentlemen. And it's neat to see. I've seen the other side of it, and that's not pretty. But we have kids that, when they win, they're grateful to win, and when they lose, they're humble. And they give the thanks to the guys that beat them. So,
Wow.
it was a lot of fun to be part of it.
Well, and a lot of kudos to the parents
Mhm.
for raising those kids that way.
We enjoyed it. He's had a pretty good senior year. Now he's on to be the tennis manager, girls' tennis. I told him he has to have a chat with him and tell him he's become pretty accustomed to winning state championships. And they better step it up a little bit, so we'll see how that goes.
And the bottom line is, he's a good kid.
I like to think so.
You've done well.
He has his moments,
He's a kid,
but
Don't we all?
you know, kids do that.
he had about 15 people there that were related to him, watching him wrestle, so it was kind of neat to see that. First time his grandpa had ever seen him wrestle, so
Really.
it was a good deal.
I bet Grandpa was proud.
Grandpa was pretty happy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Makes you kind of teary-eyed.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think he realizes what he did yet, but he says, I just won a match.
Yeah, you did, son.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a match it was. Huh?
It was fun.
And I heard that you were kind of coaching the reps.
A little bit. A little bit. I get excited. I've got a brother that lives in Oklahoma that watched his championship match on an iPad in a McDonald's parking lot in Purcell, Oklahoma.
Really?
And he said
Whoa.
it was a good match, he said. He said for a kid to come back with a 4-point deficit at the beginning of the third period and win the way he did, he's scoring 9 points in the last 2 minutes. Pretty impressive, so it was fun.
Wow.
Fun to watch.
Hi.
So, anything for me? Any other questions?
I have one.
Thank you, I guess. You got a question?
No, I don't have a question. I have, this came from a conference, and it's kind of like eBay.
Uh-huh.
For selling any equipment that you want to sell. The buyer pays, not the seller. So they'll walk you through how to do it. You might be one that might use that.
Nobody wants what we have to sell.
But if something comes
But
up,
we'll
if I
hang on
get a
to it,
while,
take it.
yeah, all right.
The stuff we have to get rid of is wore out. Anything else?
No, shoot. All right, yes, thank you.
I'll be on my way.
Congratulations, and thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
Are you Morgan Darlington?
Hey, that's me.
Okay, you're up.
Just
Alright.
one thing, we had a 10:15 appointment on the airport CIP. Shouldn't we at least address it before moving on?
Well, I guess we can.
Well, it's on the agenda for next, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry, I guess you would have to wait just a little bit.
That's just fine.
Yeah, it's passed. Okay, let's see here. Just saw that. Okay. I think that's already been taken care of here. And it's been sent to, I don't think we have to do anything else on this here, do we? Wait a minute here. This would probably be to the airport board.
No, it's from the airport board.
It was a airport identifier, manager's name, their operations day, and all that, so I don't think we'd ever have any of that. And this is the, just a chart of the, improvement plan they have here, which all stems down to the end, or here it is for the, to repave the strip out there.
You really have to do those strips often, don't they?
I don't, I guess kinda depends on how they hold up and how much traffic's on it, probably. This in here, I don't know how long it's been, but I think it's a 15-year project or 20, something like that.
Well, and they can't have potholes with planes flying.
For sure. So I don't know if anything else has to be done on this.
Would you read the email? Maybe that'll help.
Dear Wade and Scott, I have sent this CIP to the county, city, and airport board and received no comments or corrections back to date. It is the same as in the past couple of years, excepting formatting changes. Please find attached for your use records and PDF and Excel version as requested. The commissioner's direction at this location to plan for and provide preventing pavement maintenance to preserve their infrastructure investment. No other objects are planned at this site. The Excel vision and small tab with the checklist, narrative, and CIP. I believe that signed copy is on the way to you directly from the city and counties, so that would have been what we'd signed a week or so ago. That's what I'm assuming.
Did you bring Bill Berglund's email from January 28th when he requested this be on the agenda? Okay. I didn't either because I thought you would as chairman. He wants us to approve the CIP that you have in your hand there. If there isn't a signature page that he has sent you, which was on the attachment with that email, then I suggest that a draft letter be sent to him that we approve the CIP. If that's what we're gonna do, we need to do that by vote. If we approve it, we need to send him a letter, we have approved the CIP. If we don't approve it by vote, then we need to send a letter, we do not approve the CIP in white. And that was all in Bill Berglund's email to us dated January 28th.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the CIP.
I will too, or I'll second it.
I think this is it right here. Okay, here's a motion to approve the CIP for the airport.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Well, we're gonna send a letter or whatever it is, isn't it?
No, that's your job.
No, this is my job.
Yeah, it is, seriously.
No.
Franklin, you need to communicate regarding the CIP. You are the chairman, it's part of what you do, it's part of that title.
I can give him a quick call or something other than that. I do not have to write any letters. So, move on.
If you're gonna do that, I think you better make a memo and put it in the file.
You need to
So,
have a paper trail,
that's right.
yeah? It's the job, Franklin.
We'll move on now. Morgan, Darlington, you want to step up there, please?
Sure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi Laura, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you
Good.
doing?
Franklin. And who is
Elaine.
Elaine? Hi. Anne. Anne, nice to meet you. Well, I'm from Senator Dane's office and just I'm the field rep. I'm based out of Bozeman and I cover Broadwater County, so thought I would come by and say hello, introduce myself, and just I'm here to hear from you guys really. If there's anything that you'd like the senator to know about, pass that along.
How's it going with his bill about the balanced budget or no pay?
Well, he just introduced it last week, so we'll see how it goes. But, yep, was introduced last week. His
Oh,
first
good
piece
job.
of Senate legislation. Thank you, and we'll do that.
That'll stir things up.
Yeah,
Get them to thinking anyway, I guess.
yeah,
It'll
yeah,
get their attention,
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
and somebody needs to get their
Did
attention.
someone that was before, or was that in his campaign that he said that?
he had the House he had a bill that was the equivalent on the House side.
Oh, okay, 'cause I
Before,
heard of it, okay.
yeah. Great. And then just for, you guys might not already know this, but he's sitting on the Indian Affairs Committee, the Appropriations Committee, the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, and also the Science, Commerce, and Transportation Committee. So those are his assignments.
What does he say about the compact?
It's really a state issue, and so as a federal legislator, I don't know that he has much weighing on that topic.
Yeah, he says it's pretty much state all right, but it's gonna be big, I mean.
So, Morgan, we have a request of a grant
Mhm.
right now, and it might have science and technology. It might fall to his committee.
Oh, yeah.
Raidersburg, south of town here, it's not an incorporated town.
Okay.
They have very little sketchy cell phone service, if any, and no broadband. So we have, I think it's called Treasure State Internet,
Okay.
that is applying for the federal grant to bring high-speed broadband and cell phone service, excuse me, into Raidersburg.
Great. Well, if you guys would be, I don't know who's heading that project, but if you would be needing a letter of support or something like that, certainly send information our way, and we can help you out.
Perfect. Do you have another business card that I could forward on?
We don't have business cards yet. They should be coming Wednesday, I'm told, but I'm told that. So,
What's your email in the meantime?
yeah, it's Morgan_Darlington. And then at Danes.senate.gov.
.senate.gov. All right, I'm gonna send that to both the company, the entity they're working with, and the Raidersburg Historical Preservation.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, cool, thank you very much.
You're welcome. What else should I know about Broadwater County?
I've got a couple.
Okay, yeah.
Hilton SRS, I know
Yeah.
our congressional delegation has always supported it.
Mhm.
Is there anything further that the senator can do with SRS and to assure PELT?
All three members of the Montana delegation have been calling for that funding to be reauthorized, and so beyond applying that pressure, I'm not certain that I think that they're doing all that they can.
I would imagine. I just had to put it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's important. And I think, yes, yeah, so.
We don't rely on ours to balance the budget. Ours is spent more on capital or
Okay.
investment in the county. But if it were to get to the point where, like SRS was frozen this year, if that continues, then we start dipping into other sources to pay for road graders,
Right.
that kind of thing, and then it does start hitting the local economy. There
How
were
much
several,
How much of Broadwater County is federal land?
I don't
Yes,
know,
no?
I don't know either.
20 to 30%, it's a low
Yes.
number, do you know that?
There's a pretty healthy chunk both on the west and east side though, that's federal land.
Maybe a win low.
What did you say, Joan?
I think it's over 30%.
Okay.
But guilt money is very, very important to us. And same with SRS for the schools in Farbrook.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I think treasurer would know, wouldn't
There's a bill that's, I think it's 1529, don't quote me on the number. It's kind of been languishing for years,
Mhm.
and I think it got held up in the Senate. I think it passed the House some years ago. It's a chiropractic bill, and it is to put chiropractors with other medical professionals if they serve a lesser served community, then their student loans will be paid off. Right now, chiropractors are not included in that, and this bill would wrap them into that. So I'm asked by our local chiropractors to bring that forward,
Okay.
so you'll hear that from me often as well.
Interesting, yeah, I wasn't aware of that, so. And you think it might be 1529?
I think so. I can get you that. I can send you
Okay,
an
yeah,
email. I have a
email that.
file on it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's been hanging in there for a long time.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. I think from the first year, we were commissioners almost.
Because we did legislature back then.
Yeah, yeah. So Morgan, thank you. And I appreciate so much how active you guys were at conference.
Oh, good.
Last week, every single meeting had somebody representing the senator. It was really great.
Good. I was there just on Monday, I think, so how did the rest of the week go?
It was excellent.
Good.
Yeah, they always are. You're surrounded, by the commissioners that are dedicated and very professional, really care.
Mm-hmm.
That's uplifting. And then they just, shove all this information into our brains, which is also kind of stimulating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Well, I guess I'd open, if anybody in the audience has a question for her.
I do.
Sure.
On Voices of Montana this morning on the radio on the way down,
Mm-hmm.
there was discussion concerning the fact that the environmental groups, their lawyers, are paid to stop timber sales.
Mm-hmm.
This is an agricultural county. Does the senator have anything in the works to stop that process where the environmental lawyers are paid to sue the government, the federal Forest Service and other?
So without having, I didn't hear Voices of Montana this morning, so without knowing the context, I'm guessing that we're talking about EJA. And so, I guess broadly, I would say that the senator, one of his top priorities is timber reform, and looking at how we can better manage our forests. So part of that will be taking a look at EJA and saying, how can we get a handle on this and reform that program as well. So that's sort of a broad.
I think Congressman Zeneki's people are really on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you folks could talk to them, I'd
Yeah.
appreciate it. I was a field rep for Congressman Rick Hill, so I know
Oh,
about your job
Yeah.
quite well. Yeah. That's a major thing.
Okay.
Get some timber sales going.
yeah, absolutely, Senator.
Open the land to the public, just not the environmental groups.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your comment.
Any other questions or comments to her?
There was one, and this one of your representatives would have heard in the Forest Counties. I think that was that Monday? Were you there?
I wasn't in the Forest County. Probably
Okay.
would have been Spencer Merlin maybe, or Carrie Kent.
Okay. I know that the senator was represented.
Mhm.
But they were talking about Oregon doesn't have nearly the problems we do with
Mhm.
the extremist environmentalists on this, abusing the system.
Yeah,
I would echo what Roger says. It's a huge problem, and of course we have to deal with it because we've got the south end of this county is one of them, and I think the other's is he from Helena? So a little bit close for comfort.
yeah. We appreciate those comments. And did you guys, I don't know if it was, did Broward County, I know that the senator sent out a letter saying, requesting input for timber reform, very beginning of the year, soliciting input. Did you guys submit a letter with suggestions or ideas? And if not, that's fine. And if you would still like to, love to hear your thoughts on what you think, how you think that we should go about better managing the forest, so.
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, we haven't yet. I think we should. I think, you know, we are a timber county, we're a forested county.
Yeah,
Certainly, I
absolutely.
think that's a great idea.
Well, send that my way, and
All
I'll
right.
push it along. Anything else that we should be,
How often are you gonna come to visit us?
well, how often would you like me to come visit?
Well, I won't tell you every week, but often.
Okay,
Yeah, kind of whenever we have some, you know, some updates and stuff like that.
sure, yeah.
Different things that's come up.
Well, you guys, the fortunate part of location is that I happen to be coming through here quite often on my way to Helena, so this makes it a pretty easy stop to make.
Excellent.
Yeah, and you guys meet every week this time?
Yep.
Okay.
Usually on Mondays.
Great.
Yeah,
Did you guys have a good holiday weekend? Did you get yesterday off?
yeah.
Mhm.
Good. The weather's been great.
Yes, it
And it's
has.
gonna warm up even more.
Oh my gosh, it's nice. It makes me excited. I'm a little nervous. I'm expecting that 30 below to come flowing back in pretty soon.
Well, and when you watch the news, those poor people back east, I mean,
Just getting dumped on.
they just constantly.
Yeah. Better than us.
You're right. I couldn't agree more.
Well, thanks so much for your time. I'll let you guys get back to the rest of your business and let me know if there's anything else. You have my contact information, so Laura has it if you guys need to reach me. And next time, hopefully I will come with business cards in hand.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Morgan. Good to see you.
You too.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Morgan.
Thanks, you guys too. See ya.
Just don't have a schedule here, so let's go through our payroll. I think this payroll here. I'll use straight line 15,694.
How much is payroll?
Well, this is payroll. This is just claims.
Threw you a minute, didn't it?
It's only
It
15,
sure
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I move we pay the approved claims in the amount of 15,694, and how many cents, Franklin?
24 cents.
24 cents.
I second the motion.
Move the second, we paid claims for $15,694.24. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Okay, and for payroll, it is $144,009.60.
I'll make a motion to pay payroll with pay date of 2/13/15, $144,009.60.
Second.
Move the second, we pay the payroll at $144,960. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Sign, no, have to sign you.
Yeah, you have to just sign anywhere on the payroll one. You do.
This one here, there. This one here.
That one we all three sign.
Thank you.
Let's see what this here is. This is, oh, for the postal service, we all sign on this? Yeah. That's right. For the postal service for $440.
And what is that for?
2015 permit, I assume it's that one that Nicole had in here.
I'll make a motion to sign for the permit with the post office. The bulk permit.
I will second and appreciate that you defined what it's for. I think it's dangerous for the commission to say, I assume it's for, and sign something. We need to know this stuff concretely.
Make a motion on the floor to pay claim for the postal service for $440. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Thank you.
And we have this cooperative plan between the Forest Service, law enforcement, and probably the Sheriff's Department. What they had for many years now,
What's the total on it?
3,000. It's been 3,000 for as long as I can remember. Well, it was 1,500 at one time, but in the last 15 years anyway, I think it's been 3,000.
Vote to sign the contract.
I'll second the motion.
Move in second to sign the contract with the Forest Service, law enforcement, and our Sheriff's Office. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. You show use. Chairman.
I'll just draw a line picture. in there.
Okay. Put my name there, then, I guess.
Do it on mail.
So here's another one here, see the sign, let's see what this is. This is, looks the same thing. No. Okay, Cooperative Law Enforcement Annual Operating Plan and Financial Plan for the Broward County Sheriff's Department Forest Service. This annual financial operating plan is hereby made and entered into by between the Broward County Sheriff's Department, hereafter referred to as County Sheriff's Department, and the USDA Forest Service, Helen National Forest. Hereafter referred as Forest Service under provision of Cooperative Law
Chairman
Enforcement
Slip,
Agreement.
I believe it says there are 2 copies to be signed. You only signed one.
But it's,
so I'll send that as
It's got a different heading on it, though.
Exhibit A.
Okay, it is, okay, exhibit A then, I guess it is. Same one where it had you there. So here's a couple minutes early, Linda, you wanna come on up?
Good morning. Deep breath, deep
And,
breath.
We don't fight.
I know.
We do.
If I
We
meet,
don't
if I
fight.
met you guys on the street, I'd just be. Anyway, I'm here to request, since it seems like everything is kind of calmed down, if the health department, the nurses, can have a raise to what the other health department's nurses are making, not what the directors are making, because you can't afford me then. But we have taken a poll of the counties and they start their nurses at $24 to $25 and 26, because Madison County started theirs at 26. And so I'm coming to ask for a $4 raise for the three of us. I'm gonna be leaving. And so, and I'm really your liability, because the other two are pretty well sustained by all my grants. However, this raise probably won't sustain them until the new fiscal
Can
year.
I just time out? We're not talking about a raise.
Oh, no, we're
And
not
I
a
think
raise.
that's important
Yeah,
to take that
okay.
off the table. We're talking a market adjustment.
Market adjustment, I'm sorry, it's a market adjustment, that's what it is, because I really feel, I mean, the sheriff's got her issues all worked out, and the hospital got a grant to pay for their employees, and I think that we are just as important as the employees at the hospital. We're not asking what they're making, because that's their business.
I have a question for you. You said something about you would be leaving?
I'm gonna retire in January of 2016.
You won't go 2020.
No, that'll be my 20 years. That'll be my 20 years. And I just, Misty and Clara are talking about rehiring me to do the billing over there. And I thought, I'll have to do more than that, I know. But I've kind of been just letting Misty have the reins, because I really think that because she is so bright. You guys don't know how bright that girl is for as young as she is, to replace me, but that's gonna be, I don't know how that's gonna work out either, but anyway, directors make a lot more than, Noel makes 31, Sue Hansen makes 31. And so, yeah, and I've never asked for a raise. I have never asked for anything as far as wages or anything. And so, now I'm gonna shut up, because I can just go on and on and on when I'm nervous. Oh, and this here, because I kept thinking, you guys probably don't even know what we do. So this here is not all we do, but it's an overview of our grants and stuff, okay?
Thank you.
So, and what we do, and a lot of what we do is so confidential that we can't tell you what we do.
Did you also bring us a sheet that shows what other counties are making for the market adjustment?
I didn't, but I can get that to you, because Noel sent me this thing that, this newspaper item about what RNs are making in Montana. And I'm assuming because it was like $27 and $28 an hour is what, and I'm assuming, because hospital nursing is different. They have to get a lot more classes, and, I don't know, but I can bring that to you.
I would like to have that.
Okay.
I would too. The other thing, Linda, is you said you're really the only liability. All your grants really cover, Misty and Clara. If you could bring that, well, I don't know, if you can bring that, that'd be great.
So,
Maybe just what grants paid for those two, and we will be doing a budget review so we can see, where those budgets are at.
oh, okay.
Just to verify, yes, the money's in the budget. The two questions we ask is, one, that you justify your request, and two, can you afford it?
Okay.
So can your budget afford the raise also to the director?
No, because I'm not asking for me to do, I'm asking just exactly what the other two are getting. I don't care. I want those girls to be making what, I don't want to lose them. You guys don't want to lose them.
I don't know that we can look at, we can't do merit raises. And if we
No.
don't do a market adjustment for the department, or just the director, then I think it might hinder our ability to do a market adjustment. I think we have to look at the full department. And it's not you, Linda, that we're talking about. It's not Misty, it's not Clara, it's the public health
department.
nurse and the public health RNs under that nurse. We're not talking about you three as individuals, we're talking about what your positions earn as relation to the same position in other counties.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna have a hard time picking somebody out of that and then calling it a market adjustment, because then it becomes a merit raise. And then
Oh,
we're
okay.
into the Me Too, and then we're into legal
See, and
violations,
that's why
so.
I never, because of this Me Too thing, but I just keep thinking, that's fine, but
This should be easy,
It should be
you know,
easy,
to
because
look
I
at your
just think
budget
all
and-
three of us should make the same. I mean,
No. I disagree.
well,
Who does the bookwork?
I do,
All right.
but I mean, and
I rest my case.
if there is a problem, then it's on my shoulders, but I can talk myself out of a shoebox.
Who does the supervisory? That's the huge part of the job
Mm-hmm.
too.
Well,
And when you've got great people, it's easy to do supervision. But when something, you know, happens, that becomes something that keeps you up at night. It's a stressor, huge
so
stressor.
it's gonna be a big change. I mean, things are changing in health departments anyway. They are changing just because of how things are changing in the world and everything. But I moved Misty into my office, just because I decided the public's gonna have to get used to the idea that Linda's not here. This morning at 7:15, I had a gentleman walk in, and Mike happened to be over there changing some kind of a plug or something anyway. He says, well, she's on the phone, because I was listening to my messages, I was doing it. He says, well, I need to talk to her, I need to talk to her. And this gentleman wants me to, this is the silly little things that I do, because I've been here forever. He got new hearing aids, and he wants me to check to make sure they're in his ears, because he can't feel them.
One of the many things.
It was just kind of cute, and he says, can I come back tomorrow to make sure? He says, if they're not in there, I'm gonna lose them. And they're pretty expensive, so, anyway. Now I'm blabbing, because, okay, so now what do we do?
Can you put a Band-Aid over?
Yeah, to hold them in there, something, because it was in there exactly how it was supposed to be, and then he took them out and put them back in. I said, yep, they're still exactly where they're supposed to be, but, anyway.
That's why
He's
you're
trying
so
to get
good.
used to them.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get
He's
used
just,
to them.
yeah, he says this one right here kind of must be like my mom, because this one right here, he doesn't even have hearing in that ear, but, you know, I heard that if you wear both of them, you'd hear better. So, I don't know.
I would like a page that shows to justify the market adjustment.
You
Not-
know what?
I would like to see a page in writing
Okay,
for the market adjustment, so that we've got something in the file that we can say, here it is. Here's what
so
other
now,
counties are asking for.
what the other counties and whatever for the market adjustment, okay.
And the best ones that we compare with would be Madison, Pend Oreille, Toole, Blaine, Mar. Yeah, so, you know, versus Gallatin, Lewis, and Clark, you know, your
Yeah.
smaller counties.
Because I did do Jefferson, and Mike Henderson is the one that's in charge there, and he says, and he sent me a matrix of what they made and everything. He says, but this is going to change in 2015. So I'm assuming that they're going to reconstruct because of everything, and it's gonna be higher again, so. Anyway, so now, tell me what I need to do.
I would like to table this conversation to either next Monday or the Monday after that. I would like
Okay,
to,
now, I have, see, and I never go on vacation, and I'm always losing vacation hours, and the first, well, I'm leaving on the 4th, and I won't be back till after the second week, because my granddaughter is going to be in a play for 3 days, and I'm going down, and I'm gonna spend a week there. Because I have 90 hours to use again, and dang it, I thought I had used some
and you're leaving what day?
on the 4th of March,
Okay,
and then I'll be gone all the next week.
You can do it before the end of the month.
I would think so too, yeah.
I'll just bring what I
something
need,
at the latest.
bring what the matrix is, I mean, and all these things that, because Jefferson County, we go by him too, right?
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and if you could even just email that to us, that we would have something to look at to get ready for our subsequent meeting on this.
And we can't just do it as a group, I mean, because, right, is that $4 for each of us, that would be good.
Oh, yeah, we can do that, because it's still a market adjustment.
Okay.
I thought you were saying you were taking you out and just looking at the other two
No,
positions.
if all three of us got $4, and I'd still make it the most, because I'd make 39 cents more than Clara and 10 cents more than Misty, and that would be fun.
You know, to be real honest, 10 cents and 39 cents.
I know, but Elaine, it's okay.
No, it's not.
We'll review that with the information you give us, and if you could show the different positions to give us all the information you can, give us every reason to say yes.
Okay.
That'll help to have all those facts and numbers.
Well, look at it this way. Okay, so maybe Misty's the one that follows you. Who knows? You've locked her into the lower wage now. Are you getting the same?
Oh, that's true. I didn't think
So think about that.
Well, see, when I was hired, I have to tell you, when I was hired way back when, 19 years ago, I was hired as Broadwater County Health Nurse. There was never a director underneath it. So to get things done and everything, I have to add that to my title on a lot of things. So technically, I am Broadwater County Health Nurse. You guys don't have a director.
You know, we may need to address your job description too, because that should be on there,
Yeah.
especially since you're acting in that capacity. So we should address that too,
That covers our behind.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, because I just really think these two girls, they have all these really good ideas. In fact, I think they called somebody about this grant. It's a $10,000 grant for improving the health board. But you can use it to improve other things. It's kind of going behind the accreditation thing. We're too small to get accredited. That's all there is to it. There's too much money. But this conference that I was, webinar I was listening to on Monday, you can use it for other things like improving the health board or other things. And Misty and Claire are just gun-ho to do it. And I said, you guys want to do it? Go right ahead. I'm retired.
And I think they submitted it, didn't they, last week?
I don't
Was that
know.
Thursday?
I see, I haven't been here because I left Monday about 2 o'clock because I had a colonoscopy. And so.
Oh, God bless you.
And so on Tuesday, I was having this, and then on Wednesday, I was still, you didn't want me to come in, and then Thursday, I thought, oh heck, we get Monday off, calling in and taking vacation on Thursday. So I have vacation on Thursday, so I've been gone a whole week. And I was ready to come back. I thought, how did these people retire and do nothing? Because I did nothing. So, anyway, I will get that stuff for you, okay?
All right, thanks,
What's on
Linda.
the measles, any measles shots around this area here?
You know, we don't have any measles in Broadwater, yeah,
Oh, in Montana either.
in Montana at all. But we do have a lot of people in Broadwater County that do not believe in vaccinations. So this thing that's at the legislature that, you know, where they're wanting to change the Tdap and all the MMR and all that kind of stuff, and just let them have it a personal exemption, we don't want that, because we don't have personal exemption right now. And these people that are not doing their kids, a lot of them are doing homeschooling because they refuse to get these kids immunized. And they're the ones that's gonna give our kids and our grandkids these, because we, well, maybe not you, but we know about these diseases. I've had every one of them, and you don't want your kids to get them. So, they just, new way of thinking, you can't fault them, because your babies are your heart, they're everything to you, but still, we're not harming these children. But,
We're protecting them.
yes, so, anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, Mark.
Sorry I came down hard.
No,
I was just being
same thing.
Things that you need to think about.
Yeah,
And I can understand where she's coming from.
oh, sure, absolutely. But it's not about the individual, it's about the position in the long term.
I'm looking down the road.
Right, exactly. Otherwise, we just readdress these things.
A couple minutes before we move on, here's oh, this is from Corey on Jane Merson. I guess all it needs is a signature, don't it? It's already been all agreed. 17,936.
You just need to approve.
Do we need a motion to, we don't, because we already approved it, actually.
Yeah, that is right, however, we did not approve where we were gonna pay it from. If it's gonna be paid from Pilt, it needs another motion in a second. There's
And he's got it
nothing
down for the pill.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
So, okay,
So we're gonna make a motion
So move,
to pay it out of bill.
pay it out of pill.
I'll second.
Okay, move and second, we pay this claim for $17,936 out of bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Thanks.
And I stand on, I oppose paying personal attorneys for any elected officials, and I'm going to stand on that.
I think there's somewhere here also. So I can just go in the stack right here. Okay. That would be Mike Conkey.
Did you sign that claim, Franklin?
Yeah.
Did you sign, it also, there's a little yellow note there? If you're gonna sign on the bottom, initial on the bottom, then another commissioner should sign the top. You shouldn't have one person signing twice, because that negates your
I
redundancy.
don't know whether you go ahead and sign your name.
It's required, Franklin. It's law.
Oh, it's running a little fast.
It is, yeah, about 4 or 5 minutes fast, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I got 10 after.
Goodness earthly, thank goodness.
Well, that's okay, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Good morning, Michael.
Morning. How you doing?
Thank you very much.
Here, I better get this. Okay.
Thanks for thinking of our public.
Pardon?
Thanks for thinking of our public and handing out notes.
Well, I've been in the audience before, didn't have a clue what was going on. Anyway, I still
No,
don't.
just thanks,
Well, you're
appreciate it.
This is just a monthly update here, kind of tell you where we're at, what we're doing. Yellowstone Pipeline, we had a tabletop back on the 7th. 2 of the commissioners attended and the mayor. I was well attended. I was really surprised. Matter of fact, it caught us by surprise. We were planning for about 35 to 40. We had over 50 people show. It was well received. And since then, the hospital has taken that exercise and they did a tabletop for their hospital 2 weeks ago, bringing in patients. They had a scenario, going to bring in 2 patients from the Yellowstone pipeline that were contaminated by diesel fuel. Fire department deconned them and brought them in for the emergency room. And then another person came in, just to drive in with diesel fuel. And then at the same time, they had a heart attack. So they did a tabletop exercise. And then last Thursday, which I participated in both of those, they had the actual exercise. You know, people from the state came down with the hospital emergency preparedness. And it was part of their responsibility to keep their license to do that. So it was kind of a spin-off on that. It was really, really good. And I like to see the agencies kind of carry through that.
So did you use that long yellow thing that you walked through for decontaminating?
We did not. This was just hospital only. They just wanted to do it themselves. Fire department didn't want to do that. A little bit cold weather. Getting that water out, and it's hard to dry that stuff out. But they do have a trailer. Fire department has a hazmat trailer. You keep all that stuff in it. So the tabletop involved all exercises. And then the hospital did their own thing. They just wanted to have a patient surge and they have a hazmat decontamination process. They have a plant, emergency operations plant. They wanted to exercise those two things themselves. So they didn't have the fire department involvement, so they just brought them in and the ambulance. They just made an assumption they were already decontaminated. They had little suits they put them in, you know, because supposedly you get stripped and washed down in that tent and put your little suits and put them in the ambulance and brought them in. And then the ambulance treated them for, had some diesel fuels, in there, you know, benzene is the big thing with diesel. Benzene is the cancer-causing drug, so they had to clean their eyes and stuff like that. They practiced that. A lot of, you know, just kind of walked through that. And then somebody came in, and then, that was Tom Murphy, was the one that walked in. Of course, he had been working on his diesel. They didn't know, he smelled like diesel. And then they had somebody else that had a heart attack. You know, just walked in. What they were trying to do is test their surge plan, overload, you know, how would they respond? They bring in call, they have an email, they had a text message they sent out to call back staff and bring in extra staff. And they found a couple flaws in that thing. Of course, that's why we test this stuff. They figured out that somebody had some cell phones that had a different area code. And it's the director of nursing, Frank. Right, she has a phone that has a different area code in Montana. Well, she didn't realize that if you're gonna text people in Montana, and it's gonna go all the way, you gotta have the area codes built in the phone. So all your numbers should have, instead of just 266, you gotta have 406, 266. So they sent a text message out. Some people received it, some of them didn't. But that's good to learn those things now before the emergency. So they learned some things. Those are called lessons learned. Following that, I went down the 5th, down to, the EPA had a exercise, tabletop exercise, involved a rail car train. This is Sonera that tipped off the road, the tracks into the Yellowstone River at Columbus. And we went down there and tabletopped that. And they had over 100 participants. They had a section for federal government agencies, EPA, Department of Transportation, and FEMA and all, they were there. And then they had a section for industry people, railroad, pipeline. They had people there for refineries. And they had a section of local government people. I participated in it. And they had another section of state government. We tabletopped how would we respond to that, if that ever happened. And from that, I feel that we have a need for a contingency response plan in case that happens here in Broadwater County on the Missouri River. The river is actually bigger here than the Yellowstone River. And we talked a bit, quite a little about what was going on down in Glendive with that pipeline spill, that crude oil, and how they have trouble recovering oil because it got underneath the ice. Yellowstone was frozen over. They've had more winter over there. When I got there, Billings left here Thursday, got down there, and Billings had 3 inches of snow. I was surprised. They had more winter than we did, came back home for Banana Belt. But it was a good exercise. So we need to do something. So we're thinking about this. Probably won't, this will be a long-term growth. Probably won't actually get into, we'll tabletop it and then we'll have something like in 2016. I just been working with Corey on the National Guard, how they come in, set up their command posts and everything, communications and stuff. Something huge, big, you know, that would involve the Missouri railroads and stuff. And we tabletop it first, and then we actually deploy some booms and stuff. And since our tabletop exercise that we had with the Yellowstone Pipeline, I went out there with Orwin Smith. He was one of the presenters, and he's the pipeliner responsible for the Yellowstone Pipeline. I met him out there at Tosca. And we went down to the dam, we went down to the Tosca pump unit, went over the other side of Lombard and stuff. A lot of that stuff he never did know before. Showed him the different subdivisions, different locations where we could put booms to keep the water. And we went down into the dam and talked to Brian Carroll at Tosca Dam there. It's ran by Montana from DNRC. What would we do and how could they help? And then he talked about, Brian Carroll gave us, said the MRL had been out and they were considering doing something. So I went and talked to the MRL train master. So that's a long-term plan, something we want to do. If that ever happens in the Missouri River, it'll be a big event, just like the one in West Virginia this morning. I guess it hadn't yet. They call that an event of national significance. And that's what we want to kind of plan for. It involves their National Guard, West Virginia, and everybody. It's a big thing.
Well, that this morning on TV, but it started out with just one car going off.
And what, got 15 in the water?
I think
50
so.
cars, and they just keep exploding, evacuating. It affects people downstream, water supply. It's quite a, it's a big event. You know. the little thing we had at Glendive was interesting. They don't know how to recover oil under the ice. It may not ever be recovered, it may just be diluted and go on downstream. You know, oil some has a, it's not gonna be forever. Oil has a natural biology, bacteria eats of oil and stuff. 'Cause it's a, you know, it's a organic, it's organic chemical as opposed to, you know, so that's good. Anyway, that's what I want to talk about, in long-term planning. We'll talk a little bit more about Thursday with LEPC. Moving right along to our Homeland Security grants, of course, the radios are all been programmed and sent out to all the agencies except school buses. I'm working with the school on getting those programmed and trying to get that set up. And then I've got one handheld that I'm trying to get to set up also. But the fire department has theirs, search and rescue has theirs. And I think they put the base station at the, down at the base station for public works, down at the shop, county shop. I think that's all they put in. The next grant we have is the backup generator grant. I'm working on that, and I just came from Corey, spent about 15 minutes with him concerning this five-party cooperative agreement, you know, to use the 4-H building. He had some really good ideas. I have met with the Fair Board, Rodeo Board, and I've met with Fair Board, but also have already met with the City Council, kind of brief them on what we want to do. The reason we have 5 parties, I'm not sure, Corey asked me, why does the city sign the Rodeo Board lease? At 10
That's
years?
city-county ground out there.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I couldn't. I said I would ask you. Is that correct? City, county ground?
It's city-county ground.
Okay,
It originally was city ground,
right.
probably 25 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I was with the Fair Board at that time. And we needed a grant to put up that big building.
Right, I remember that.
Okay,
That's when we had revenue share.
that's right. And in order to do that, we had to have
An interest.
an interest in it. So it became city-county ground.
Okay, that's why it is, okay. Good. And when I went to the Fair Board, Lisa suggested that I talk to the Rodeo Association, just so that they know what's going on. Then I gotta get keys from the Rodeo Association, you know, to access the gates and stuff. And I gotta be a signed party to it. And then I need to have that pass on to my successor. So I'm not gonna have this job forever, you know. We need, so Corey had a lot of good ideas. You know, I emailed you a copy of my draft. And he's had a lot of good ideas. I've been sent back to the drawing board to answer a lot of his good questions, which is really good. I never thought. That's why we have an attorney, to straighten some of this stuff out before we make mistakes. Had some good things. So I'm gonna work on that. I just kinda wanted to give you an update on that. We are going to, as soon as we sign that agreement, I'm also working on a contract, you know, with Townsend Electric, trying to fine tune that also. They're gonna be the ones that are gonna install and put in the transfer switch and stuff like that. But I wanna have this 5-party agreement signed before we have Townsend Electric out there doing any work. So we're on progress on that grant. We have to have this project done by October 30th of this year. That's what it's for.
So where will that generator sit?
The generator is gonna sit, you know where the propane tank is?
Mhm.
Okay, we're in, probably, that's leased from AmeriGas. And the plan is to give that back, quit leasing it from AmeriGas. That's a 500-gallon propane tank. And put in a 1,000-gallon propane tank with this lease. And
Underground?
We've talked about going underground, but we've changed our mind because the sewer system, septic system there, and those trees. And the septic system will eventually have to be replaced. When John Rouser and I was out there, and we've been out there many times talking about it. Probably best to be above ground, because you can set it on, the tank can sit on the drain field on the surface, but it can't be underground. I don't want to get into that, digging that, but it'd probably be above ground, which is fine, it'd be easier to fill that. So the generator is gonna be, as you come out the kitchen door facing south, there, just to the right, right next to the building there, we'll probably put the generator. It'll sit on a concrete slab. We're talking about one direction to the other. So the generator will all of our wiring will go underground and it'll come up to the meter box. The meter box is on that west side by the trees. Kind of cramped in there, but we can, Townsend Electric didn't think there'd be any problem. So, and all it'll run is just the 4-H bill. Now the generator has a little extra capacity in case we wanna plug in other things. You know, sometimes the fire team comes out and they'll set up tents, yurts, they call them tents, and it needs some generator capacity. So it's bigger, but it won't be hooked up to the fairground at this time. We're not gonna get involved on sending power over to commercial. It's a possibility. Just that Doug said he didn't wanna do that, he said, because this is all the service we have is 200 amp service. It's gonna be, 240 volts, 200 amps. Electricity going over the commercial building is only 100 amp service, he said. So that would have to do some rewiring. And in our plan, we probably wouldn't use the commercial buildings as emergency operations. The generator is just there in case we lose electrical power from Northwest Energy. It just kick on. It'd be just like here for the detention center. It'd come on once a month, once a week, once a week and run for about 15 minutes. Switch over, take the power, shut down the power supply for Northwest Energy, and then run the detention center for about 15 minutes on standby power. Just like over at the hospital, that the city does across the street as well. You just test it and see if it really works. And it does all that automatically. Every once in a while, you have to be there when it comes on. You set the time. And I don't know, Tim comes over here on this thing on Tuesdays, I think it's 9 a.m. Tuesday. And he'll come over and check and see what's running. See if that pump's pumping water. And Mike does the same thing over here at detention center. So that's all it will be used for, is backup generator power.
Did you find phone power in that?
There's a phone line in there, but we want to probably work with that CenturyLink and put in, usually fire teams will need about 10, 12 phone lines plus a DSL line. We want redundancy. We want landline as well as want cell coverage. We want satellite internet as well as landline internet. Redundancies is what they want for emergency operation. Power on the power grid as well as backup stand-up power. You want all these different redundancies so that during an emergency, you can still communicate out. And then if we get into this long-term 2016 Missouri River, train wreck or something, then the National Guard would come over with their equipment for communications, satellite communications, and test that. In case we've lost satellite, we've lost cell coverage or something, we've lost everything, and we use the backup military system. We want to test all those things. And it's an opportunity for us to work and train together, and involve the railroad and the pipeline companies and all these things like that. What we're doing is trying to build relationships, get to know them before we do that. Get to know what their capabilities and capacities are, as well as just like when we went out to the river with this Smith, Owen Smith from Yellowstone Pipeline. He'd never been down to the Tustin pump stations, and he'd never been down over inside the dam talking to Brian Carroll. We're building those relationships so when something does happen, we don't have to go and try to meet people and try to figure out who's in charge. Just build those relationships ahead of time and have a contingency plan and then practice that plan. Practice. They say practice makes perfect. No, perfect practice makes perfect. So, but we've learned a lot. See, the hospital learned a lot. They had some really good things they learned. Just, that hour and a half they spent bringing patients into the ER and then their callback system. They found a flaw, but they know how to correct them. And the state was here to help evaluate. We had a short after action. About 45 minutes after action review, they called it a hot wash. He was talking about what was planned, what happened, where our strengths and where our weaknesses are, and what can we do, lessons learned to improve. You just do it real quick, and then you assign somebody who's going to be responsible for updating that. When's the deadline? When are they going to report back to Kyle and the board, the THS board of directors? I just kind of help facilitate that part of my job. We're going to try to do the same thing with the school and stuff like that. These are our partners, just like the American Red Cross is. I guess my 15 minutes are up.
Is the school having a generator?
School does not have a generator. I did not realize that, but we might want to work at that. We've debated that a couple times in the LEPC. Do we want to get a generator for the school, or do we want to get a generator for the shelter, the only shelter Don, Red Cross shelter Don Council has, is up at the Trailhead Square, church. And that's good, it's out of town, it's out of the floodplain, it's away from the river, it's out of this low area where you have to evacuate and stuff. So I don't know, we're still kind of discussing that, we gotta work those things out with everybody in the LEPC. But the school does not have it. We can use the school for evacuation center, but maybe we have to evacuate the entire town due to a chlorine leak, or propane leak, or train wreck, or truck accident downtown on a highway. So I don't know if we want to, we need a place to go outside. That's why we picked the fairgrounds, get 2 miles out of town. It's up higher, it's out of the floodplain. And it's county property. We don't want to put a lot of money into non-county property, just like you said, Redmond. But Homeland Security does have a program to get generators for shelters, but I don't know if that's where we want to put our money.
Did you say the trailhead had no generator?
That's correct. Trailhead has no generator at this time. And I visited with them and met with their council, their board of directors, and Pastor Mike Baxter talked about that a little bit. And they have it separated. They kind of built that building, designed it in a couple phases, so they've kind of got 2 furnaces in a couple different areas. It would be hard to tie it all together, it'd be expensive to tie it all together. They built the church, and as an afterthought, they built the community center. You see, and so they got kind of two heating systems. It's not all centralized, it's not a centralized system. It's an ideal place though for a shelter because you can cook and sleep. A lot of room for sleeping as well as a lot of room for kitchen and feeding. A lot of parking area too. You know, it's out away from the community. You have some cages with pets and stuff outside. It's a good set. Don Thompson County does that with the Red Cross. That's the official Red Cross shelter for our county. Guess my time's out. You don't get out. Any questions for me?
Has Sean talked to you about the TSEP grant for Deep Creek?
John has not.
Sean?
Oh.
Higley?
Higley, not a lot, a little bit, occasionally, yes.
If the legislature had opted to fund just what they did last year, we'd be good to go.
Okay.
We'd cut it and we're out. So
Okay, our
one
town's
of
not
our-
included. No, he hasn't told me.
At this point, one of our matches for Deep Creek is gone.
Oh, okay.
To the tune of 300 grand.
That's what that was for, 300 grand?
Not sure what part of it was gonna be used as the match, but that was the overall total.
Oh, okay.
So that might be something that we need to start
Go
looking
back
at.
to the
Might
drawing
be-
board. Okay.
Yeah, or if you would be willing to, write a letter or send emails to a representative, Kelly Flynn, as well as those on the committee that heard. It's House Bill 5, I think it's joint appropriations. That would really help too.
Yeah, I have to be careful. Half my salary is federal money, so there's that Hatch Act. So I gotta be real
okay.
careful. I'll look into that. I'll
Okay,
check with like Bob Fry or somebody that knows. So part of my salary is federally funded. I
okay.
just have to be really careful getting involved in
Maybe
lobbying
you shouldn't-
legislature.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't do anything, but we certainly
Yes.
should and
Yes,
will.
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Don't want to violate
No,
Okay.
thank you, Mike.
federal grant.
And we don't want you to.
And then see, Thursday, 3 o'clock, over at the 4-H bill, Forest Service with the LEPC. I'll be sending out agendas here a little bit. Guess my time's up. Anything
Thanks,
else,
Mike.
Commissioners?
Not for
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
For the next agenda item, I left my file in the office, so I will be right back.
Yeah, I can do that.
And your file.
Thank you for your time. That's good. Gotta go back to work.
Yeah, I remember this last week, where Richard Titan,
She said you're out.
I haven't heard back, there's 2 issues, there was 1 issue really from the lawyers at Department of Transportation, I haven't
Jordan went in
been
first,
able to get back.
and I had to call about 8 o'clock, but she was out. She was in recovery.
Fine. The
And
only
we
question
just
would
take
be,
it soon. And, Lisa called me, Kristen had texted her about 9:30, Jordan's.
But I'm not clear.
Sydney's
as to
not.
whether
Everybody thought surgeries went well. The grandmother, I mean, some back, you know, it's like babies, you know. You know, Tucker had it a year ago. And, he's done very well for